So I'm going to be doing a tutorial on ceilings. A couple people have emailed me asking for that. So I'm going to just work through my model that's pretty much done now. So I'll bring that up. Let's see, there it goes. Oh, do we have it yet? There's a bit of a delay. Hang on. Okay, now you should be seeing my screen here. All right, so I filled in pretty much all the departments. I've labeled them. My numbers are a little bit off, so I have to go back and fix the numbers. What happened is, like I've talked with most of you, I filled in my private offices first, and then I went back through each department and looked at the programming and saw what I needed to add in terms of actual workstations. Then I did add things like havens. These are jump stations here. I added again some of these like cove kind of like, you know, more casual spaces that you're going to gather, but then you might watch a presentation. So, you know, like a lot of you are going to find, I had a lot of space to play with. So once I got my workstations in, then I started filling in those kind of extra areas where folks will gather and either brainstorm or gather and relax and, you know, socialize, but still kind of, you know, bounce ideas off of each other. All this stuff I got from Steelcase. What happened though is I originally had filled in my ceilings, but I ended up adding more rooms too and adding different sections. So I went back and deleted what I had for my ceilings. So I'm going now to under ceiling plan over here, level 1, and I'm going to put new ceilings in. Now, kind of the way I'm going to approach it is the folks in the private offices, they're going to get drywall ceilings. They're a little bit nicer. We're going to spend a little bit more money on those folks to kind of get, you know, just a less kind of, you know, industrial 2x4, 2x2 ceiling grid systems. I had already done the bathrooms and I left them in here. So these are 2x2 grids. So if I click on it, you can see over here, it's a 2x2 ACT system. So to put ceilings in now, I'm going to go back over to architecture and I'm going to put ceiling. I'm going to change it to, I'm going to keep it to this GWB on metal stub. That's my gypsum board. The problem with this guy is when you put it in, it doesn't have a texture. So it's hard to remember where you started. So I would say pick a starting point, you know, bottom left corner. It's trying to do this automatic ceiling, but it's not reading the geometry great. See how I have like a no symbol. So instead I'm going to sketch that in and I'm going to use a square to do this one because this guy's pretty straightforward square. I'm going to just go kind of wall to wall with these columns here. I'm also going to try to make sure again I'm closing up like the floors. I'm closing up that glass window system. So that's it there. Looks like it's good to go. So I'm going to check the green arrow. And then I'm going to, now if I wanted to change it at all, I could hit edit boundary and then I could kind of tweak with those lines a little bit. Now to put another one in, I'm going to go back over to architecture and ceiling and again, sketch, square. I'm going to pick this guy here. All right, there's an example of that green one. Okay, now this area here, this treatment is going to be different, say, than my lobby entryway. I might do something a little bit fancier in here. But here I'm going to have to sketch this out. So I'm going to put this in. I'm going to assume it's going to be a 2x4 grid system. I'm going to sketch that again. It's going to be a rectangle. And I'm going to bring it down to about here. Normally, this intersection right here, you're going to build what's called a soffit. You're going to have a drop-down kind of drywall system to make a transition place in your ceiling from one type of ceiling to another. For this project, we're not going to have to worry about that too much. All right, so this guy, what it did is it automatically centered it for me. But see how I've got these kind of tiny little pieces here. So in order to shift this around, I could do one thing. I could click on it and then I could use my down arrow and kind of manually shift it. Looks okay, not too great. Or I can align it. So I can click on that tool here. Here's the align tool up here. It's that little blue box on top of the other. So first you have to pick where I want to align it to. I'm going to try aligning it to this back wall here. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to click my button. That's pretty good. But I kind of want to do the reverse, I think. So I think I want to align it to here and to here. And that doesn't look so bad. As I come into this room, you know, maybe I get a cleaner view of that full tile. I might play with it a little bit. Let's see how this looks again. We could kind of, well, let's go back to that one looks good. I'm good with that. If you wanted to do the same with these guys, it's a similar thing where you're going to click here, you're going to click here, and now it's aligned. What it did is it aligned to my wall here, so that threw that off a little bit, that weird little grid. So the way it put it in originally was actually pretty nice. So I'm going to leave it there. I'll do this. This is my cafeteria. We're going to, again, not give them super expensive ceilings in there. So they're going to get, we'll say that they're going to still get the 2x4. So I'll show you another example of aligning just so we can see a couple of examples of it. Actually, I'm going to start again right in the inside of the walls here and then bring it over to just about there. All right, green check. And again, see, I'm getting these weird little notches at the end. So I'm going to let's try aligning. So I pick the align tool there, right up there with the blue box on top. I click the wall I wanted to align it to, and then I click the grid. I enter here. I'm not loving that. I could also change the orientation of this if I wanted. So if I click on this, and so what I did is I clicked on just like the middle one as like a handle. I have the rotate tool. I'm going up like north and swinging it to like say the east. That looks a little better. I kind of like how that looks. So I'm going to align this to that. Whoops, hold on, we're going to align here to here. Oh, it's just short, tiny bit. So this guy, actually, I might just kind of manually nudge. So let's see how it looks as we go up above. Oh, so close. You know what? You might never see that. And that's something that in construction they kind of fix for you, but maybe we'll leave it like that then. That's not too bad. All right. If I didn't love this and I wanted to change it to a 2x2, I can click on the grid again, go over here to the left, make it a 2x2. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's see how that looks aligned. Let's see how we get that cleaned up. Still kind of the same problem. It's just short, the math, just a tiny bit. I'm going to leave that guy like that for now. I just want to show you an option here in the, say like this is a training room. So I'm going to go into my floor plan, level 1. I'm going to give myself a camera view looking into here. All right, now I mentioned this to a couple folks. If you go onto BIM objects and type in Optima, you get some of the options for Armstrong kind of specialty ceiling pieces. So I'm going to show you a kind of way to bring this in. So I'm going to actually go back to floor plan. The problem is these pieces don't come in as lights. They come in as furniture that sticks to the wall, basically. So I'm going to go to Insert, Load Family. I've got a lot of stuff in here, so let's jump over to that file. There and there. All right, so it's these Armstrong ones. So these guys are called baffles, these rectangles. This is called a hexagon. You might not be seeing this if we're not sharing screen. I'll go back and check. All right, so we're going to open this. Should be opening the family. All right, so we're going to go back over to here to component, place a component. There it is there, my hexagon. Oh, he does want to go into a ceiling. Good. All right, so we'll go over here to the ceiling. See if we can get him to go into that way. Insert component, place component. There's my ceiling. Okay, there he is. All right, so he does have to go in on level 1 ceiling plan. You're not really going to see much of it just yet, but I'll show you in just a second what it looks like. All right, so you are seeing them on the floor plan now, but if we go into view, I'll show you what these guys look like. They're these kind of pods that hang down. So you can make some designs and have a little bit of fun with this. The one thing I would say though is this guy's hanging kind of low. This is about 6 feet now off the ground. So you're going to hit your head on it because this ceiling, if you look at it here, this ceiling is at 8 feet. That's correct for a drop-in ceiling. I might want to change this guy to 10 feet. And the nice thing is you can see those pods go up with it. So we'll go back to the level 1, you can see. So there they are there. Well, they're not there. They're there. So now they're on the ceiling plan. That's correct where they should be. And you can move these guys around, connect them, kind of make some fun designs. A couple people have ones where there's circles and things like that, so you could kind of make a big shape out of the circles. Armstrong has these other ones that look kind of like kite-like objects. So you can have a little play around with this, especially like I said, if in your entry area, maybe your cafe. All right, let's go back to this. All right, so the main thing you're going to want to do is, like I said, get these zones figured out, sketch them out, put your ceilings in, put drywall ceilings most likely into your offices. Once you have the ceilings in, then you can insert the lighting. So I'll review that really quick too. We go over to here. It's going to be a couple places you can find it. So one of the places under systems, and then it's lighting fixtures way over here to the right. That's one way to do it. So I'll show you how that. So it's going to bring up my library. And then there's lighting, architectural, internal. Here's all their options. You obviously can also, I'll stick one in now. Let's do a recessed can just so you can pop it in here. Oh, of course it's not. All right, so here's the can here. I'm gonna stick it in here. I'll put one in here to show. For some reason, it's not reading into this guy. It could be that I'm way up high at 10 feet in there. So we might have to go into the view of it. Oh, wrong view. Sorry. Here's a conference room. All right, let me try that again. We'll see it from here. Component, place component. I still have my downlight. Now it's going in. Okay, so what was happening here on level 1 was I was a little too up high for that guy. These are at 8 feet, so it's probably my cut plane here is at 8 feet. You all also learned how to kind of bring in fancier lights. This section here, I would suggest you're going to do, let's see, we're going to do a quick, I'll do a quick sketch of it. I would do like I suggested to do the flooring. I would kind of do this in zones. You're going to do a big old shape around here. And then there, and then there, and then there. I'm just going to do a couple quick examples of it. Then what you would do is you would basically minus out more shapes. So I'm going to say, you know, this whole room is going to be minused out of that. Actually, it's already got a ceiling. Sorry, I think I did that already. So let's click yes. Yeah, so see how it's covering up everything but there. And that's really ugly because we want instead a compound one. There you go. So if I want to go back and edit that again, I just click on it. I say edit boundary. And now to again minus out some of these other areas, I might say, you know, this I don't need a ceiling over. I don't need a ceiling over this area here. I might have my own ceiling in here for my storage room. So then you can see what that looks like. So as I kind of, whoops, let's highlight it again. As I kind of edit it and then basically trace out other elements, it'll take the ceiling out of that area for me. And let me show it to you on a 3D view. There you go. Oh, come on up. It's taking another minute. All right, here you can see the ceilings put in. Now, some of you are going to want to pop open your 3D view a lot to double check where things are. This is where you can hide this element in 3D view from here on out. Like once you get the ceilings in, if you want to be able to look into your spaces without them there, I'm going to hover here. I'm going to right click and I'm going to say hide in view category. It's going to take a couple seconds, but now the ceiling is all hid. The other thing is that's my the outlines I did to do my name tags. I'm reading my room tags. So I'm going to do the same thing, hide in view category. That's just to clean up my 3D model a little bit. All right, let's go back in here. Okay, so if there are specific questions or things that you're hitting a snag on, send me an email. A lot of these videos I'm generating as people do that, so please don't hesitate to take advantage of that. Thanks. Bye.